Sean Quinlan is the chair of the Regina Public Library Board. Sean, you must have been pretty ecstatic to hear this news today.
Oh, we were delighted, Jill. It's been a long month, and we're able to, put everything back together and restore the Saskatchewan library system to being the best in Canada with, the interlibrary loans of the holds around the province.
We instantly saw once these cuts were announced that these programs were starting to fall off, and there were talk about people losing their jobs. Yeah. So does everything from this day forward just be pieced back together as it was?
That happened especially in the smaller regional libraries. There were some layoff notices, so I don't think anyone lost their jobs, but it can be pieced back together. I'm aware there's meetings this week through SILS that'll put back together the whole provincial system, where you can order a book on the provincial catalog. That's what we lost for the last month.
Well, we can even see behind us this hold section looking a little bare on these shelves, Sean, and so you expect now that people will start to be able to use that system once again?
Right, because right now on the holds that you see there, it's only been Regina customers using the Regina catalog. Now that they can use the provincial catalog, and last year I believe it was 160,000 books taken by Regina customers from the provincial system. So you'll see these shelves filled up pretty quickly.
We saw such a swell of support through petitions and read-ins and letter-writing campaigns really pushing for change on this. So as you watched all of that support come around this province, were you thinking there was a chance that this funding would be restored?
I thought so. I've watched, this government in the past, and as Minister Morgan mentioned, if they make a mistake, they'll admit it. And I think that's what happened today, between Minister Morgan and Premier Wall. They saw the reaction, and they were, perhaps ill-advised, by people, and saw the mistake. And I think the overwhelming emotional support around the province had a lot to do with it.
What does this say about the effect people can have to change a decision? To you, what does it mean that what we can do as citizens?
It's up to every citizen, but to do it responsibly, not get into a partisan approach, but talk about what the impact is. And that's what I think happened. You had the read-ins at various MLA offices, you had letter writing. We had 160,000 hits on our Facebook page, and that was very important, and a lot of people were upset, but they did it in a professional way.
Let's look at what's happening next.
Right.
In this announcement today, we learned that there's also going to be a review of how the library system works around the province. Maybe there are places for efficiencies or changes that still need to be made. What does that look like to you?
Well, I think it's very positive. The minister will be inviting library directors and board chairs to sit down, as well as members of the public. And each, region will be looking at, their distribution system, their delivery systems, what they can do to work efficiently. And hopefully that will, give us a positive response so that this funding can continue.
Do you think there's anything you would like to see specifically be addressed going forward now that the funding's been restored?
Well, I think ensuring that all the regions and the two major cities work together as one. That's the whole secret to our provincial library system. They're the two things. And the minister's offered some changes in the library legislation, so we'll take a look at that.
Thanks so much for your time today, Sean.
My pleasure.